everybody, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. I just got finished summiting Redondo Peak, which is one of the highest peaks in the Jemez Mountains. In fact, it's one of only 3 peaks that are above 11,000 feet in the Jemez Mountains, and this marks my last one. That's right, I hiked Chicama and Polvidera already, and now I've done Redondo, so I've done all 3. I unfortunately did not really film up there because I know that a lot of the local Pueblo groups view everything above 10,000 feet to be significant spiritually, so we're actually just below 10,000 feet right now. All in all, it was an extremely difficult hike, and I still have a ways to go. Was it worth it? I mean, the views, 180-degree views to the south, really beautiful, but ultimately the summit is below tree line, so it's just trees at the top. I was hoping for a great view of the Caldera, didn't really get one. The beer I'm reviewing today is by the Walter Brewing Company in Pueblo, Colorado. I have no idea how I found out about Walters. I somehow maybe found them on Instagram or something and then got really interested in them. And I want to shout out my brother real quick for picking me up this beer while he was in Pueblo, because I cannot get this in my area. And you'll have to prepare yourself if you're a loyal native New Mexican, because what I'm about to say might be fighting words. Beer that I'm reviewing by them is their Pueblo Chile beer, the Colorado Chile beer. That's right. So for those of you who don't know, I've mentioned New Mexico green and red chilies related to beer in some of my previous videos, but I don't think I ever really stressed the significance of red and green chilies to New Mexico. Think of red and green chilies in New Mexico as being like the combination of an Idaho potato, Georgia peach, and a Maine lobster. I mean, it is ubiquitous in New Mexican cuisine, New Mexican art, New Mexican culture, and because of that, a lot of loyal New Mexicans who love their green chili see Colorado when they try to advertise their green chili, which is pretty similar to New Mexican hatch green chili. They get a little skeptical, they get a little defensive. Now, I have to say, Colorado, I mean, you got Denver omelets, you got Rocky Mountain oysters. Do you really need to take green chili from New Mexico? Anyway, let's read the back of the can. It's a craft lager. It is lager summer after all. Craft lager brewed with roasted Pueblo chilies and clean Colorado water. The roasted Pueblo chili pepper is known for being distinctive in taste as a flavorful and meaty pepper that is exclusively grown in southern Colorado. That's gonna make a lot of people's heads turn. Straight from its home in Pueblo for your enjoyment in Walter's Pueblo Chili beer. Okay, well, we moved down the mountain a bit. 1, because the footing was really sketchy, and 2, because as you can see, a storm system is developing, and I didn't really want to be stuck on the mountain slopes in case that amounted to something. It's already started thundering, so it's time for a sip. This is one of the most unique beers I've ever had. I'll tell you why. It is really spicy. As far as the specific flavor notes go, right off the bat, I get this quintessential green chili bite. It's the same bite that you get from all green chilies, whether it's hatch, Pueblo, jalapeno, etc. And it really is biting like the roof of my mouth, giving me that really intense spiciness. It's actually kind of overpowering a lot of other flavors right at the beginning, but then pretty quickly it dies away a little bit to let some of the other flavors, mostly on the tongue, kind of shine. At the tip of the tongue, I'm getting red and black pepper, which you might expect, but then kind of unexpectedly, I'm getting a little bit of a sea salt note on the tongue, tip of the tongue. It's pretty interesting. And then the rest of my tongue, kind of the rest of my mouth in general, I am just getting this quintessential roasted hatch Pueblo green chili flavor, this fire roasted, earthy flavor. Now, as the spice on the roof of the mouth kind of backs off a little bit and lets the flavors develop somewhat, I would say that it maintains that high level of spiciness, but instead of being on the roof of the mouth, it shifts to the back of the throat. Typically, if I'm getting any spice from a chili forward beer, I'm getting it at the back of the throat, and that's about it. This, I get it at the back of the throat, and then I feel it kind of go down my gullet until it hits my stomach. It actually is quite reminiscent of, like, if you drink bourbon, they call it the Kentucky hug, where you feel that burn kind of go down into your stomach. And on the one hand, it's sort of a pleasing experience. On the other hand, I mean, it's spicy, right? Normally you eat spicy food and you drink a beer to kind of wash that flavor away. This, if you reach for this when you're eating spicy food, I think you would feel a little bit betrayed. Now, granted, that's sort of your own fault, but still. I think in this middle third, I'm also getting what I would call like a bell pepper note. It's got that fruity, juicy sweetness that I think is kind of the malt and the yeast interacting with the chili to produce that flavor. And then furthermore, as the beer kind of finishes, I think what's coming forward is this more vegetal, grassy note basically like crop. You know, you pick crops at a farm, and just think about getting a box of green chili at the grocery store and smelling it, right? It's gonna have that fresh green aroma, and that's kind of the flavor that's coming through in the finish, where the spice is kind of dying off. With this flash of lightning I just saw behind the camera, that's gonna be pretty much it for me. This beer is a really unique beer. I can't wait to try more of Walter's offerings. Cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me. It's a really tough hike too. Actually, my backup beer burst in my backpack, which is gonna be real fun to clean up when I get home.